It's March Madness time. Well, have some Red Bull, some coffee.
It's a perfect way to show how crazy these past couple of months have been.
They are the big contenders for the tournament. Haven't lost a game yet. I like Arizona.
Arizona's a good team, a tall team, a fast team.
Incredibly stacked conference, the SEC.
Baylor won the game, and that's a 18-year promise, like you said. And Scott Drew, that's an incredible story for him. And
I just feel there's going to be a big upset, and
so yeah, I think it's an easy pick.
Hi, this is Andrew Utz, the winner of the Outsiders Opinions inaugural Bracket Challenge, and you're listening to Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another NCAA March Madness video. We have been doing a lot, but it's back to the Outsiders Opinions crew. As we mentioned when we reviewed the first and second round, Jake's on a little bit of a hiatus, kind of breathing in, recalibrating, and as our bracket is not doing well, you should have gotten an email by now from the official Outsiders Opinions Gmail to just like, hey, give us your email so we can do it. But our bracket is not doing well. Austin is currently leading in our host, but Trevor Perkins is actually leading. But I believe he's a big Purdue guy. I can't remember. If I'm right, let me know in the comments, because I believe you've commented on our video, Trevor. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I am.
Yeah, his bracket, though, that is number one is a UConn bracket.
Okay, and the man with that great transition, Austin, let's just talk about UConn versus San Diego State. Sweet 16.
I have a friend that for his bracket needs San Diego State to win. He doesn't think they have a chance, but both of these teams dominated their second round team. And at this point, I'm not going to say it's a rivalry game, but a lot of people on both of these teams have played each other in the national championship last year. There's a lot of bad blood here, and all the perceived advantages kind of go out the window when you consider that it is sort of a rivalry game and anything can happen. I still think. Who do you think wins the game?
I think UConn, but I want to see this game because I would not be shocked if San Diego State won because of all you mentioned. Like, probably if we're running simulations, UConn wins a lot, but that's not factoring in the emotion. And what does San Diego State come out like? Do they come out firing out of the gates against UConn?
I think they will. I'll go San Diego State just to be a little bit different, but I definitely think there's a chance. Jalen D is arguably the best player in the game, in my opinion. I think he's better than anyone on UConn, especially in college basketball, at least, because I know they have NBA prospects over there at UConn. But D averaging 21 and 9 consistently is just remarkable, and I've been very impressed with how San Diego State has played, especially in tough games. But it'll be close no matter what. Brian Dutcher and crew know Dan Hurley and crew. They know each other well. They are experienced. They know how neither team is kind of going to shy away from what they do best. And what do you say?
I was trying to go, yeah, this is why you play the game, because you just, like, this is why sports, I'm like, you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, last year, as a 5 seed, San Diego State ended up beating the 12 and then beating the 13 and then playing the number one team in the tournament. Last year, it was Alabama, and they ended up beating them. Now it's UConn, and we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, we will just have to see. But now we go into Illinois versus Iowa State. I don't think this is going to be close because we're not high on Illinois.
Well, Illinois is not that great on defense, and their offense is their main attacking. Iowa State has the best or second best defense in college basketball, and Illinois will really have to outscore their problems for them to have a chance. I think Iowa State wins.
Now we go North Carolina versus Alabama. I think North Carolina should be heavily favored, but maybe if Alabama just scores a lot, I know their defense isn't great, maybe they can beat North Carolina.
Yeah, Alabama's another team that have to outscore their problems. They play at such a high pace that they give a lot of points and they do turn over the ball sometimes. But if North Carolina can slow them down and play their game, Carolina wins. But if Alabama can speed them up and make them play a little bit more erratic, I could see Alabama winning, but I will take UNC here.
All right, next we go to Clemson versus Arizona. It'd be fun. Like, I root for Clemson. Clemson's a fun team. They like to slow it down, though. So is Arizona high paced or?
They're not necessarily high pace, but they're definitely not low pace. And there's a lot of experience on that Arizona team, even though they lost in the first round last year. I can see this is another one I could see going either way, but I think the experience of Arizona will prevail.
You know what? I'm gonna go if Hall stays out of foul trouble. I'm gonna go Clemson in this matchup.
Sure.
Next, we go over to Creighton versus Tennessee. This one should be a good game as well. But
Tennessee is yet to have like a major offensive outburst. I mean, I guess they kind of did it at St. Peter's, but Creighton only plays 5 or 6 guys. They play really 6, maybe 7 sometimes. But I think Tennessee could wear them down. It's really going to come down to the connect versus Baylor Shireman kind of duel. And I think Tennessee has a better defense with the worse offense. I'll take Tennessee.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go Tennessee, even though I like Creighton and I would like to see him advance. Now
fair.
we go Purdue versus Gonzaga.
Gonzaga is built to win right now. They have experience with Nembhard. They have experience in other aspects. But can they stop Edey in the 3-point shooting in Purdue? I'll say yes. I'll say Gonzaga wins.
You know what? I'm also going to agree with you here. I'm curious to see, because there's been a narrative, like this narrative has been on our channel. It's not a narrative. It's kind of what we've talked about. Is Purdue actually good? And we've kind of, all three of us been like, no, not really. So can Purdue prove us wrong? And if they do win this game, I think that's got to be huge. And I wonder how that affects Edey's future. There's a lot of that going on. But
this will definitely impact his legacy.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we go NC State versus Marquette. It'd be fun if NC State could pull off the upset again, but I'm going to go Marquette.
I'll go NC State. Marquette has been down against Colorado and against Western Kentucky, and I feel like NC State is very cutthroat. It could be close. Marquette's a really good team, but will they shoot as efficiently as they have in their first 2 games? That's really the question, and I don't think they will.
Yeah, and NC State is coming off a rest. So because they're getting a break this week, they're just a really good team. I like how they have size with DJ Burns. I know I talked about him. I mentioned him. He's just like a big dude, but he also has some great shots. And they have some size with Mo Diarra. I'm pretty sure it's Mo Diarra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then they also have some shooting, so I'm interested to see how this goes. But man, the next matchup, we started with a great matchup. I think this is going to be a really good matchup because, as I talked about in the last video, I've been impressed with Duke. I thought they were going to lose in the second round or they were going to have some close calls, but no, they've really taken care of business. And then, of course, you got Houston. Houston was a favorite. If it weren't for our belief in Texas Tech, we'd have them in the Final Four. So I think it's going to be a great game, but I think Houston pulls it out.
It's going to be really close, but I do think Filipowski, I don't know if he has the mindset for March. Houston's a little bit more experienced, and they do have that proverbial dog in them. I'm excited for this game. I think it'll be the second best game of the Sweet 16. The only one I'm more excited to watch is the UConn SCSU game. But this game should be good, especially with how close both of the teams, or how close Houston played A&M. But I do think Duke will keep it close. It'll be a good game, but I'll take Houston as well.
Yeah, I like what you said. It's the second best game of the weekend with UConn under UConn San Diego State. And if I had to pick a third, I think I might go Clemson, Arizona. That's for
mine would probably be Tennessee, Creighton.
Yeah, I almost said that. Yeah, for personal reasons, Clemson, Arizona, but Creighton, Tennessee is also a good one for someone just wanting to see good basketball. But we'll have to see. Any final thoughts before we close out this episode?
Nope.
Let us know what you think. If you want to brag on us, I know we were kind of a little pompous, and it looks like we're suffering the championship or the bracket winning hangover this year. So if you want to get roast us in the comments, go do it. And make sure if you're competing for the bracket and you're leading number one, I'm talking to you, Trevor, make sure you give us your email so we can figure out a way, if you are to win the tournament, to create the liner so you get that championship thing. Last few years ago, we had to chase down a lot of people because we just figured out the liner. But make sure you give us your information so we can talk to you. That's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.